This is what I'm gonna tell you guys is a lot of dudes, they say like, yeah, man, I want to put on some good muscle, but I don't want to be too big. I don't want to be too bulky. So they're always afraid to gain that weight. So as you saw right now when I showed you my before and after pictures, there's a happy medium in the middle that I had to put my body through in order to look like that end result, that was about a little over a year ago when I was at my leanest. And I've been putting on size for a good amount of time right now. So I'm gonna run you guys a couple pictures right now to show you what to expect as your body changes. And this is a long-term commitment, guys. If you're trying to put on muscle, if you're trying to be not just some skinny guy that's ripped out of your freaking mind, if you want good size, you want round, good muscle bellies, and lean abs, little waist. Like this all takes time, guys. This is a commitment. This is why bodybuilding is a lifestyle, and this is why so few people who actually work out or compete or anything are actually natural, because this takes a long time, fellas. So I'm gonna run a couple videos for you. A couple photos for you guys. This isn't a transformation video. I'm just showing you a couple pictures of what happened to me as I started to change my body over the years. This is kind of like a gross oversimplification, but I just wanted to show you guys so you guys can understand the muscle building process. So here I am. This is my first photo. I'm about 15 years old in this photo. Like I showed you guys that before. Roll to the next one. This is later on that same year. So as you can see, guys, I was a tall, real skinny dude. And funny because prior to this, I was kind of like a chunky dude. When I started going through puberty in the beginning, I kind of was like a chunky little fat kid, and then all of a sudden I just leaned out randomly. My body has changed so much over the years. This next photo right here is when I was a little punk. I thought I was a little badass. I started getting a little bit, so you can see there's a little bit of definition in my arms. I started working out a little bit more rigorously, so you can see a little bit. My arms got a little bit bigger. Then I continued to bulk, guys, and I got kind of fat. I kind of overdid it because I didn't know what I was doing. So you can see this picture, I got fat. Most people would not want to look like this picture right here that I'm showing you. But take a look at the next picture, fellas. And then this is me right here after I cut. So I went from that little skinny dude with a tiny bit of muscle to a fat guy, and then I cut the body fat down, and I got ripped and I got lean. So most people would say this is a more desirable physique than the previous two that I showed you, because I'm big. Obviously, I'm not huge because I'm not taking steroids, but I'm lean and I have a pretty good physique. But as you can't see right here, fellas, I'm kind of covering my abs because my abs weren't always a strong point. Then about a year later, I'm going to show you guys two pictures right here. In these photos, I really overdid the bulking. Like I said, guys, I wasn't quite sure what I was doing at this point. I just knew that I needed to eat a lot of calories to get big. It wasn't until about 2 years ago, 1.5, 2 years ago, that I really started figuring out what works for my body and what doesn't work. So as you can see, I'm totally bloated. I'm holding a lot of water. My arms are like 20 inches in these photos, fellas. That's huge. In these photos, I was about 265. I was ginormous. I hadn't been that big in a really long time. As you can see, I was sweating all over the place. I don't look that good in these photos, guys. But I was able to put on a lot of mass, a lot of muscle. Then I absolutely killed myself, and I was able to achieve this photo right here. So this is probably my all-time best. I showed you guys it before. About 212 pounds right here, ripped out of my mind. I'm dry. This is actually right before a show, so I'm super dry in this photo. As you can see, I got striations in the chest. My bicep was popping out. I have good insertions with the shoulders, and my abs really came in this time. So, and of course, I'm flexing here, so I'm not walking around with these striations like popping out of my freaking body all the time. But, so in this photo, guys, I achieved very close to what I wanted, and that took several years of bulking. It took sacrifice of walking around of kind of like a chubby, chunky guy, but still having the faith that I knew what I want it to look like, guys, that's really important, is that you got to know what you want to look like. What is your end result? That's why it's really important to have idols and to have inspirations and motivations. As you can see, like probably from some of my videos, I've got posters all over my wall of champion bodybuilders that I aspire to look like one day. I like to have that image and reinforce that image, that positive affirmation in my head at all times. I love to see that. I love to be surrounded by motivation. I live in motivation, and I want to see that image, because every set and every rep and every meal, I'm thinking about that vision, that end result of how I want my body to look like. Then I'm going to switch to a couple more photos, guys. This is about a year and a half ago, before a photo shoot that I did in LA. And then fast forward over here. This is the day of my competition at the 2012 INBA Reno show. And then this is my most recent photo when I was cut. This was about, I would like to say, probably 10 months ago, guys, fellas. So as you can see, my body, I'm getting more and more solid, more ripped, more definition. So like, the takeaway point from this, guys, is I just wanted to show you more or less what my journey was to achieve this physique that I have now.
Man, that's good.
So right now, I just, I finished bulking. I've been doing a slow cut over the last month and a half. I was probably at my biggest at around 245. Right now, I'm 228. And it's taken about 2.5 months to lose that weight. This time I'm not doing it for a contest. This is the first time in my life that I'm not cutting for a contest. I'm just cutting for myself, which I feel a lot more stress-free. I'm taking my time with it because I built up a lot of muscle in this previous off season, and I did keep my weight relatively low. But I just wanted to show you guys more or less, guys. I'm going to have more videos on this about different body types. I'm going to link them all over the place. You got to figure out what body type are you. You got to figure out how to eat and how to train, because it's different for all of us. And I can give you guys a blueprint, a basic kind of like, like more or less a ballpark, figures and advice about where to go depending on what type of body you are. But at the same time, guys, you got to figure out what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. What works for another dude may not work for me. We all have different bodies, different metabolisms. So the number one thing you can do, guys, is this is trial and error. This is why it takes a while. But you got to embrace the journey. You got to love the journey, because it's the journey that makes you who you are. It's not just the muscles on the outside. It's what you get up in here, baby. Because, contrary to popular belief about stereotypes about bodybuilders or people that work out, we're not dumb people. In fact, I think like dudes that work out and like serious bodybuilders, people that really take care of themselves, I would have to say that they're some of the most insightful, deep thinking people that I've ever met, actually. Not everybody, obviously, but a lot of them, because this takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of organizational skills, a lot of, just soul searching within yourself. Why do you want to look this way? And are you willing to put in the work? And that translates to anything else in life, fellas. Why are you going to school? Why are you doing this? Why are you pursuing that? Why are you working this job? Because in the future you see yourself being promoted. In the future you see yourself all this work paying off for a prize later on that you're going to achieve or attain. So the same thing with bodybuilding, guys, is if you want to seriously build your body and transform your body, it takes time, and you got to go through seasons of bulking and cutting weight. And this is just like an overall video on bulking and cutting. I'm sorry it's a little bit long. So I hope that helped out, guys. I hope that cleared up a lot of questions. You either got to choose one or the other. You got to bulk or you got to cut. Assess your body for what it is right now. I'll be coming out with more videos. Stay tuned from the block to the top, and I'll see you in the gym, baby. I'm out.